Hello, welcome back to the channel. And it is almost spring. It's very warm today. It's very hot actually today, right now. And the sun is beating down my face. I just took a shower. It's almost like 4 o'clock right now. And uh, anyway, so welcome to this channel. This is basically just me as a 40-year-old something right now in 2026, a neurodivergent, chronically ill woman sharing what her thoughts are, lived in experience, what her week's been. So this is basically just a talking diary of my life. Um so this week I thought like this week my life was turning around a little bit. I was like, oh my god, like like um the needle moved a little bit this week, like meaning it's something happened and it's something spontaneous, like it wasn't planned or anything. And I thought, oh, maybe this is a sign, maybe my life is turning around. I was like kind of feeling not elated because it wasn't a big thing, but it was just this little tiny microscopic thing, like just a really nano thing that just moved a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I wasn't ecstatic, I wasn't happy, I wasn't elated, I wasn't, like going like up and down, jumping and all. But there's that feeling of like, oh, maybe like the leak is over, maybe like the expectation of life is over. So I'm sealing the cat behind me. She's just like, why are you sealing me? Why are you not letting me here? No, because if she's here, I will be distracted. Do you want to see her? She doesn't allow people to. Although I can't see, there is a. Can you see? I don't know if you can see. Can you see? I can't see. I can't see because of the sun, and I can't see the screen either. So anyway, you should be able to see her, right? Like she's just there. I can't see anything because the glare of the sun is just too much. Anyway, so I thought like, oh, okay, oh, maybe things are turning around. Maybe life can be good. I was beginning to hope, and then of course, reality set back in, and everything is just the way it was. Like the dryer started to acting up. Like there was intermittent grinding noise. There's intermittent like dragging noise and rubbing noise. So I know like the dryer is, I don't know, like the dryer is somewhat functional still, but needs something done. And therefore that means more money, right? That's mean more expenses on top of the dying fridge. So I was like, I went to a pure panic. I went into a pure panic, and I thought like, oh my god, how am I gonna handle this? I don't have enough. All my emergency fund has been dried up because the dryer died last year. That's why. So this dryer is new. It's like only 1.5 year old. So like that's one of the crazy thing of like this constant anxiety and this constant fear of, oh my god, like I can't handle life. I can't handle life basically. And then I thought like, okay, it's okay, don't panic. We've got a schedule of something happening like next week probably that can help us. And then of course, like this morning, like someone basically they messaged me like this appointment that I have next week is like, oh, I have to cancel next week. So it's all basically this possibility of something happening next week is kind of just gone as well. So now I'm like, oh my god, it's like I am taking like a quarter step forward and then 10 steps back. So I'm like 9 3/4 steps back now. Like and I'm on my period, so everything is aching. My bone is aching. My back is in pain. My I feel like I thought this week for about a few seconds. Oh, finally, a break. Finally, I can breathe. Finally, maybe I can trust that things are moving forward. And no, 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 no. It's like this constant carrot being dangled in front of me. It's like, here, 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 kitty, kitty. I don't even torture the cat like that. I give the cat like a tease and then a treat straight away. A tease and then payment. A tease and then payment. Where is the cat? She, oops. She should be around. Yep. She is down there taking a nap under the bed. So I'm like, oh. So now I don't know. I've been just depressed. And I feel like I'm back to my um, regular depressed habit, which is very bad. But at the same time, I can't do anything about it because my body hurts so much. I am taking my vitamins. I'm taking my supplements. I'm actually been pretty good, but like the past 2 months, I've been waking up at dawn, and because of the stray cat, because of Miss Limi, and I've been getting her breakfast, getting her change her water, clean her litter box. I do all those three in the morning, and then also like make sure that her iPad is charged. I like to leave an iPad out like at night, although she doesn't use it much, just because I don't want her to have all the silences. Because like she's very wary of door opens and closing. So the living room is basically where you can hear all the neighbors' doors and opens and closes. So she's very sensitive about that. And she usually her the living room is basically her room. So she doesn't like being disconnected from her room pretty much, because I would close my bedroom door. I think she would feel suffocated. She would want the bedroom door to be open. Even if she stays in the bedroom, she wants to have access to the living room, which is her room. But usually, up until about maybe earlier this month, I would still get up in the morning and stay with her. Like at dawn, I would do all of those chores, which is change her litter box, like clean up her litter box, and then gave her breakfast, change her water, and then I would take her out onto the balcony and just have like outdoor time. And I usually would see dawn coming, like sunrise, the past 2 months. But the past week or two, I am back to my old habit again. Basically, just did the chore, which is change the litter box. Sorry, clean the litter box, change the water, and also give her her food, and then I would just go back to sleep. For up until 2 months, up until earlier 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, I would still like sleep with my blind opened, because she would come in like to have the blind opened. Um, but about 2 3 weeks ago, I just started to go back to my old lifestyle, which is I just draw my blind close, and then I would stay in bed until 2 p.m., but with intermittent getting out of bed, so that she still get fed at 10 a.m. And then sometimes like I would stay in bed and she's already like eat 3 times. So I make sure that she does eat, like even though I'm in bed. So I would get up at 10, and then I would get up again at around 1 or 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and then I would feed her and I would go back to bed. So outside the cat's chores, I would stay in bed, and the cat sometimes also try to get me out of bed and go to the living room instead. Like I think during like around midday, she would start nagging me to go to the living room, even though like all her food is basically taken care of. Like so, it's mostly just like trying to get me to the living room. Even the cat knows that I'm staying in the bedroom too long. Um, so yeah, so I guess like my physical and my emotional state is not great. Last week, even up to last week, I think my physical state is quite okay, but I think it just went downhill really quickly this week. Maybe because I have my period, so I'm on my day 2 of my period. Maybe that's also why. But I don't know. I was really hopeful of things like going my way finally, but not going my way like all the way, like not like, oh, you just won like $10 million kind of big thing, but it's just more like, like things are not. I just want good things happen without having like 10 negative things happen. I just want like, okay, just like one good thing, nothing happens, and then another good thing, nothing happens, and then another good thing, and nothing happens. So it's kind of accumulative, of the good things without having, it's like, if you deposit $100 and then nothing happens, you keep your $100, right? But if you deposit $100 and suddenly you have like $1,000 withdrawal, then you minus 900. That's what I feel this week, almost maybe quite literally, financially, I guess. But I guess it applies like, and it applies in that sense as well, like using money as a metaphor. It's like that, like that's what I'm feeling right now. Like I feel like so far it's just been withdrawal after withdrawal after withdrawal after withdrawal, but the universe is not giving me any deposit to work with, so I can't move forward because I'm not even in the zero line. Like to move forward, you need some kind of fuel. You can't go with an empty fuel. You have to put the fuel in, and there is no fuel. I know this channel is just for me complaining. I'm sorry if you came here out waiting for something kind of profound or anything. Also, starting tomorrow, 24th of August, YouTube is implementing this new viewing count, basically, which changes nothing for me because as creators, we basically just get like this channel is not monetized, so it doesn't affect this channel, but it basically changes the way the views count under the videos is being counted. So before you have to watch about maybe 30 seconds or I don't know 10 seconds of the video to count as one view. But starting tomorrow, as soon as like the video starts, that counts as a view, which means like we're gonna get an inflation view rate or view counts from the public side anyway, but it doesn't really change anything from the creator side because the way the creator is paid is basically through paid ad, which means that you only paid get by engaged views, and engaged views are basically the same as the view that you're currently having now, which is you have to watch about 10 seconds or 30 seconds into the video as to count as one view. So that's the view that get paid um, to the creators. So from our side, it doesn't mean anything as much, because it just means like every single videos on YouTube is just going to get an inflation boost from the views, and yeah, doesn't do anything to May. Oh, sorry. So it's like this bogus way of, I don't know. It's like a bunch of upgrade of nothing. I am so bitter, aren't I? And my head hurts. I've been trying to, the last week how I said about, I've been trying to basically brainwash myself by using EMDR buzzing and like listening to hypnotic videos or audio. I'm doing that still. So it's been a week. So all this week I've done that too. So what? It's been 2 weeks now. Uh, I'm gonna keep persisting, I think. But this week I'm starting to wear headphones, so it's like it's actually on my ears, which is probably a bad idea because my head is still buzzing even now. Is hypersensitive because like when you play like audio like hypnotic audio or like a meditative audio, sometimes they use a theta wavelength for brainwave. So they use a specific theta, alpha, and beta, like the one that I talked about last week. So if you don't know, just go to last week video, the video previous to this. Just watch that. um, and and the and like when I listen to those after a while, because I do usually put it on for like hours and hours, so it affects like my brain, like physically, not like mentally, but like physically, like because the brain is basically liquid, right? Like if you want to examine a brain, like take it out of a person's brain, you actually have to put it into a liquid so that the brain solidified enough for you to be able to handle it. Um, for 2 weeks at least. So the brain, I think, is like a consistence of soft tofu. So it's basically like liquid. So if you put like audio, which is a wave like a wavelength, basically a wave, an audio wave. It will ripple. If you put like a music and then you aim it towards water or something and then you could see the ripples because it's creating like a sound wave. It's like that. So if it goes into your brain, it also creates a sound wave and then a sound wave. And also because it's inside the bone. So guys, I'm not a scientist, okay? You can just research this yourself and Google this yourself. If I made a mistake, it's because I'm not a scientist, but this is my understanding of it. So if you go and also because like it is inside the bones, you can also use like bone conductor, because like if you put like music on here, like there's a lot of earphones now that doesn't actually goes into your ear canal. It actually just uh, play the sound wave onto your bone here, and then it will your ear will pick it up, like your sensory apparatus inside will just play it, and then your brain will be able to perceive the sound. So what I'm trying to say is that it's hyper sensitive to sound wave. It's hypersensitive to vibration, basically, and that's what it is. If you play like hypnotic or meditation and stuff, it's vibrations, it's sound, noise. So, if it's liquid, that's when your brain is basically in constant vibration throughout the duration of your meditation or hypnotic suggestion video. So my brain right now is vibrating. That's what I'm trying to say. And that means like I actually have to stop wearing the earphones and go back to just manual listening with my naked ears. Maybe starting tomorrow or something. But in a nutshell, that's what I am currently at. I went to the city yesterday and Chatswood. There'll be a vlog about that next week, I think. And I think I want. I think because like next week would be the end of winter, so I can't queue up my videos for my vlogs again. I will have to kind of just let it all run, and then wait until spring comes and then start vlogging again, so that I would have an actual spring content. It's getting really warm and yeah, just good. It means like I'm sleeping better because it's not as cold anymore. But I'm also getting lost in the storyline for some reason. Also, like the end of winter, which means like I basically manage the whole full winter with Limi, Miss Cat, the tuxedo cat. She's also still up for adoption. The people last week who were inquiring of him bailed. They basically said, "Oh, I didn't realize that you're in this particular suburb. I thought you are contacting me from the other suburb. Okay, I'll contact you again." They never did. And see the schedule because they were shopping around for a new cat for their new kitten. So yeah, never heard from them again. Ghosted. us basically. So Limi is still up for adoption. I feel really bad for her lately. Oh well, I felt bad for her from the beginning actually because um, I felt like, oh, maybe I don't know, maybe like this is not true, but I thought it, which was like I thought maybe I did the wrong thing by taking her off the street because now she's stuck inside an apartment where the lady that is taking care of her, me, is basically not functional at all. Like she stays in bed all day and she's lying on the couch all day and she doesn't move much. And when she does move, she goes out and disappeared, like when I have to go get groceries or something, and then come back and then do it all over again. Which is not true. I definitely recognize that she has like all her 3 meals or 4 meals or 5 meals or 6 meals. She's gonna get really fat. Um, and she's demanding food now, basically harassing me. But that's one of the things where I feel bad because she's basically harassing me for food because she's bored because I don't have a lot of entertainment. I can't play too much with her. I played with her like 10, 15 minutes a day or maybe like a half an hour at max at night, like getting her to chase a lot of one play, like a lot of bait and stuff so that she basically run around, stalk, and then she would, you know, I'm trying to get her to jump, but she doesn't jump much these days. So, but I try to get that, like to get her, like spend all her energy. If she doesn't, she will destroy my bedroom. So, and also bite my calves and my legs. So that's also still that problem a little bit. So I need to spend all her energy, but I can't because I don't have that much energy to spend, so it's a bit of a problem. So I feel a little bit bad because I feel like, oh, she really does need to have um she needs to have a home where she can be properly looked after, not only just given food, but like an actual emotional and play and like some kind of life, something like a home that is filled with life. My home is not filled with life. It is drained out of life. Life is drained out of me. So yeah, I feel like she needs to have like a proper home with life in it so that she can feel, I don't know, she can just like actually be a teenager, a teenage cat that is filled with energy, run around, chase some people, some cats, maybe some dogs, just spend all her energy like fighting with her cat siblings, maybe if the family has like a cat. I'm imagining a good life for her. And at the same time, I feel sad because I can imagine and I can wish a good life for her, but I can't do the same for myself. I even have to tell myself when I go out, right? Like when I go grocery shopping, you have to get food for yourself. You have to go get food for yourself. Like it's so hard. Like and sometimes, like this is rarely happen. Maybe like once a week, I would only come back with groceries that is for me, and I would tell myself, "Good for you." Isn't that stupid? It does say that, like because I usually would have definitely like at least I would always go outside and get something for her, come back always like have something for her. Uh, I feel like my life is. I just want my life to turn around, my life to turn around. I just want all my efforts to pay off, okay? I don't want to rely on other people, but at the same time, it's like all my efforts just go into poop and it never comes back as a new life. Poops are good for fertilizer, but what about poops that are just poop and not fertilizer? It just stings up the whole place. But this sun is feeling really good on my skin right now, even though it's probably bad. But with the wave the ultraviolet radiation, but it's really warm. It's really comforting. I was coming here with a very foul mood, but the sun is actually putting me in a good mood. Uh, you need to have it on your legs or on your arm because your face doesn't have a lot of vitamin D receptor, so it has to land on your limbs. Did I eat fat? Fat is necessary for the conversion of vitamin D because I think the cholesterol turns into vitamin D by way of radiation of the sun, the UFB or the UFA, the UF, UVB, I think. Ah, when I look at my head these days, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm 42. Like, I definitely knew it because, like, I remember looking at my mother's hand when she was my age, and I could feel like the hand is old. And I'm looking at my hand now, it's like, yeah, it's a old hand. And at the same time, I'm also having like this I've been having this mental image since I was maybe 8 or something. Like, I remember maybe in um 92, I thought to myself, oh, I'll be 16 in 2000. And then when I was in 2000, I'm like, oh, I'll be 20 24 2004. But after that it stops, and I think it's resuming again now after 20 years. Like, now I'm thinking ahead again, like, oh, I'll be 80 in what, 38 years. So I will stare at my skin again in 38 years, and it will be a very different skin, right? It will be very filled with wrinkles and everything. So all this realization that time moves on, but I don't for some reason. Oh, I'm so bitter. I'm feeling so bitter about life. I just want good things to come to me. I just want money pouring in from all over the world to into my bank account. Buy my arts. But the, this is the annoying bit. Okay, I want to be hopeful, but 20 or 42 years of life is teaching me not to be hopeful. It's teaching me one thing that you should learn by now. 42 is not be hopeful. That's why you got you here. I'm trying to not spout abuse at myself, but I'm like hopefully managing to do that. But like, hope is what got us here, got us into this mess. No hoping. But I don't know. Society 6 also recently moved to Trolley, and then I don't. If you don't know what Society 6 is, Society 6 is basically like Redbubble. Society 6 is where I started my trying to make money online journey, basically in 2014 in January. So soon it will be 13 years of just trying to make it in the online space for me. The whole purpose is so that I can just like work at my own space, my own pace and space, because I didn't know it back then. Or I was aware, but I wasn't aware as much. I guess I didn't have much information like I do now. I think my body is extremely unreliable, as I just told you. So I need a space where I can just work with my own on my own time and on my own energy. Um, so when I have energy, I would do it, and then the product like these YouTube videos or like in print on demand thing, like you just upload all your work and then it can be sold over and over again, and on YouTube it can be viewed over and over again, and every time you view this or every time it's sold, I get an earning royalty. So the royalty business model really works for the neurodivergent brain or neurodivergent physique, for my body especially, like my chronic illness, like the fatigue, the inability to be consistent and the inability to sustain consistency as well. I think that's the most important thing. It's like I was doing fine for like 1 month out of the three. Oh no, hold on. Yeah, so far, so it's been almost 3 months now that I have the cat. Like I was only fine for 1 month, which was the middle month, the July month. As soon as it hits August, I'm not okay again. So like that consistency is like if I start full time work, for example, I'll be okay for the first 2 months, and after that it will just go downhill straight away because my body is not keeping up and is not maintaining it as well. So, and as I get older it gets worse, like the inability to function. So when I do have a spout of energy, like even like lately, like before the past 2 months or so, like this week, it was really difficult to get up in at dawn to do the chores, which was like to change her, to change her water, to give her meal. Up until last week, I was okay. I was pretty much automatic. I got up like at dawn and just do it. It wasn't hard, but it was hard again this week of getting up at dawn. It just felt like my body felt like a brick, like a huge cement. It was so heavy and it was so difficult to just get up and do it. And so I was like, yeah. It just keeps hitting me again and again, even though I don't think about it. That it just keep being reminded again and again. Oh yeah, I am chronically ill. Like I am. This is like the reality of things. This is the body that I have, and I really don't like it. And I think when I was younger, I bluffed my way through it, but now I can't bluff my way through it. I can't even fake it to myself again anymore. So I have to accept the reality that this is it. But at the same time, like reality doesn't go away. Like like the responsibility that you have as an adult, paying your bills and going through all of that. So now I'm just stuck because all like I'm only appearing in public, right? Like also in on YouTube here for that maybe 1 hour a day that I managed to gather my energy for the past 23 hours prior to that so that I can function in public for that 1 hour a day. It goes the same with my current out in real life as well. Like when my neighbor sees me out on the neighborhood, that was just like the snippet of like 20 minutes where I have the energy to go to the grocery shop and come back before I just collapse and not being able to do anything. So I think from the public or from the outside point of view, it's like I'm fine because that's the only time they get to see me, which is when I basically manage to gather enough energy to function and do something and be visible. And like I think maybe other people is like they do a whole bunch of other stuff when they're not visible. But no, I just lay in bed and I lay in couch or I just cook and eat like do basic necessity, because that takes energy too. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Life is getting very annoying. But anyway, back to Society 6. So Society 6 basically recently just moved to, they changed their payment system and they also upgraded their artist studio, which is like the place, the page, with the website page where we get to upload our designs and stuff. And I'm starting to upload again, like even though I just uploaded four, but the past a year and a half, I didn't upload anything because I don't know. Apparently, they're not there. It was a mess. It was just a mess. I feel like the past year and a half, ever since 2014 ended, I just decided not to do anything. But at the same time, I think like there is a lot of rearrangement behind the scenes with a lot of websites like YouTube and print on demand space as well, like Society Six. So I just decided I don't want to do anything much about it, and Canva as well. And I think like the shift is now everything is being rearranged by using AI because eBay is also doing that. Like eBay now is so easy, but at the same time it's also difficult because now you're basically competing just based on price only, and that's a like a race to the bottom, which is not sustainable if you really want to sell and use the money to actually live. But now it's so easy because one of the most daunting thing about eBay was to pre-fill everything, like pre-fill the descriptions, tick the categories, click like the sizes, the colors, all those box ticking is just too much work. But now all you have to do is you have to take your photos and that's it. Like and then the AI just sort out everything, and you just have to say sell, and which is so simple compared to how it has been the past 20 years or so. But the problem is the price is also going to when you sell you have to be very mindful of the price that you are selling, because if your price is above other people then you're not going to sell anything. Because I know, like when I buy things I definitely see the $2 price difference and I would go for the $2 less in on eBay. So it's definitely playing playing that, not mind game, but like it doesn't, you won't sell unless you're very competitive, and very competitive just means you're cheaper than the other people. And you can't lose money if you're in my position, so you can't sell. It's very hard. And yeah, unless you have like a lot of financial backing, so you'll be okay with having like a very thin profit. It's very hard to gain anything. Is the cat still there? No, I can't see the cat. Where is the cat? I think the cat is gone. The cat is waiting for her second lunch. She get like two lunches and all. She get breakfast around 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. these days, and then she gets another breakfast at 10 or 11, and then she get another lunch at 2 or 3, which is she's not getting so far. So she's getting like at 3 or 4 maybe, and then she gets dinner at 8 or 9, and then she get kibbles that should last the whole night. So the longest time she doesn't. I feel like I feel so bad because I'm so scared that she'll get diabetes by the way of feeding her. um, like of course she's gonna get harass me all day for food. I keep feeding her, but I can't stop. I don't want her to starve. I feel so bad. I don't know. I feel like I'm abusing her with food. She got wet food, okay? It's not kibble. She only get kibbles overnight, and it's just like 1 cup, like this tiny cup, espresso cup. And she doesn't get treat much. Only one treat for her dental treat, and maybe beef liver. Beef liver, one treat every couple days or something. The beef liver is mostly for her nutrients, for my the way I see it. And except for the overnight kibbles, she gets wet food, and mostly wet food. So she only gets like one over the overnight. The kibbles is just to get her by overnight until breakfast comes at 6 or 5 a.m. But it is definitely my fault that she's harassing me constantly for food because I'm giving her food. I am not giving her other entertainment. I do let her watch Bird TV, but the past 2 months I noticed when she's on Bird TV, she's basically on prey mode. And when she's on prey mode, like she can't release any of her prey instinct, like latching on and bite and kicking and tearing things open. The cardboard doesn't give that release, and so my legs would end up being chomped, and like my scalp would end up being chomped. Like so, I am trying to make the bird TV not happen throughout the night. I used to put bird TV throughout the night, but I stopped doing that because in the morning she would be so feral because she basically been on hunting mode all night. So she gets purring and relaxing music overnight now. uh, This is my first time taking care of a cat, okay? Or taking care of a pet. Be responsible for another living being. I realized how stupid this decision was after maybe about a weekend. I'm like, what am I doing? Oh my god, this is such a stupid decision. But it's too late. If you took a living being out of their comfort zone, now you have to be responsible fully. I don't like life. Can't believe I just basically mumbled and grumbled for 40 minutes straight. But yeah, so I feel like that's what's happening, I guess. I don't know. I really want my life just to move forward. There is no need to go backward. This is move forward. Move forward. And just start depositing money, not like withdrawing money from my account. It's like it's not like I'm not trying hard enough. I am, but every avenue that I'm trying is just like shut, and I'm just like, oh, I don't have the energy to grind anymore. I don't have the hustle to grind anymore. One of the reason why I started like trying to find money online in 2014 was when I turned 30. And back then I vividly remembered, if I don't do this in 10 years when I'm 40, I will not have the energy to start over or to take an attempt at doing it. I was right. 40 was 2 years ago. And I'm extremely depleted now. I am so screwed. I only have 8 more years to 50, and I have no game plan. Don't have any savings, jobless, because I've basically been trying to get this thing off the ground for the past 12, 14 years. Not happening. Not talented enough to make it on YouTube because I guess I just don't have the knack for it. And yeah, and it's the same with the creative space, with the art space and design space. So I just have to admit that I don't have the talent to make it online, to make money and a living online, which is a shame for myself and a pity for my future self. And I get screwed by my past self. Now I got no one to blame but myself, to be honest. But I'm definitely don't regret the fact that I did this. I don't regret the fact that I took the decision to find out whether I can do it or not. I couldn't. That's the result. But I'm not regretting that because I feel like if I didn't do this, I would definitely be really regretful of it. Um, do I wish for the result to be different? For sure, but I definitely didn't regret the attempt for sure because you never knew, right? Like if I didn't attempt trying to figure it out, trying to find out whether I can make money online or not, then I would always have that in the back of my mind. And like there is this one lady um at craft, right? Like she is basically a housewife for the past 52 years or something, and she always say things like, "Oh, I could have been an engineer, in another life." In my head, no, you could not. But be polite, say, "Oh, yeah, for sure." And she always say like, "Oh, like there's no point in divorcing my husband now after 52 years." She always talk badly about other people, about her own family members, and she always like talks up herself like as if that she's the epitome of perfection and the epitome of you know of this is what a good person should be, like very uppity. I don't know the name. But anyway, but I feel like she's very comfortable, I think financially, like because her husband worked and stuff. She didn't work after she got married, I think. So she hasn't worked for 52 years, I think. And her husband, even though she bullied her very badly, and she always badmouthed him, from what I heard from even her own mouth, he basically gave her, coffee every morning, and he filled up her gas. Basically, when he was sick about 2 years ago, she hasn't filled up her own gas for 50 years, so she didn't know how to, and she didn't know how to cook because her husband cooked for her. So she basically has to go to the supermarket for the first time in a long time, and actually feed her husband because her husband got into an accident and having to take care of him. So she basically doesn't do anything for the past 50 years and still managed to live a good life where she travels a lot. She goes to cafes, she socializes, that's all she does. Um, so she's financially secure, right? Because her husband is a dummy that caters to her and her abuse, from my opinion. And I'm being nasty. Uh, she's not. She's from the outside. She's a very polite, socialized, and agreeable person. But on the inside, she's a very, like, you can sense a lot of cruelty from her, and a lot of just brewing bitterness, which is, I feel like, if you don't have every time she talks about accomplishments, it's more about like her daughter's accomplishment. So it's always relating what her daughter has done this month or this week, what her accomplishment are, what her grandkids accomplishment are, which her kids probably was raised by by their father more than her, to be honest. So the father basically was a single father. Maybe like he worked and he raised the kids, and while she just enjoys her life, which I do aspire to be that as well. So she is a role model in that sense. I do wish to have that lifestyle if I could for the next 50 years until I'm 90, until I die, to find a man that is kind enough to allow me to do whatever I want with him, and the one that cooks and cleans and actually still bring me millions and millions of dollars and allows me to control that money myself. So I'm jealous of her lifestyle for sure. But at the same time, I would like to be her 50 years from now. But I definitely don't want to be her from where I am now, which I'm 42, to the past 20, 30, 42 years of my life. Meaning, like, all her accomplishment is not hers. Even raising her kids is probably her husband a child accomplishment, not hers, because I don't know, she has this really weird thing about, she just really like to sound good and really give lip service, empty words. She doesn't really want to take care of people. She just want to virtue signal that she is good, but doesn't actually want to do the virtue. So she does a lot of that. So you can't count on her offer of help, basically, if she does offer. She just want to be perceived as someone who is helpful, but doesn't actually want to do the helping. But at the same time, as I said, I do want to be her in 50 years, having that lifestyle and having all the things that attach to that particular lifestyle. A generous husband that does all the chores around the house, cook and clean and do all of that. Um, and give me all his millions and millions that he makes. So that is something that I do definitely want. Kind of, maybe without the husband, maybe just give me the millions and millions without the husband is fine. Um, but I don't want to be her because she didn't really do anything with her life. I'm like, I don't know what happens like when she was younger before she met the husband, right? Like, um, I thought like she worked, I think, in a office when she was 15. But like 15 is, so that has to be what, in the 60s? So it's very different, right? In the 60s, 15 years old. Very different time. Um I'm trying to get, I don't know how to articulate it. Like she didn't do anything herself. Like she doesn't have anything that she can show, that she had, that she could say, this I've done, this I have attempted, this I failed at this, but I attempted it, I accomplished this, or I failed at this. She doesn't have that, except just like boosting all the accomplishment and failures are not hers. That's the one that she talks about is either her kids or her husband or her sister. So she herself, from my perspective, is empty. Like her life is empty. And even though I'm suffering a lot and from my own consequences of decision making, it's like the last time, I don't regret how I got here. I am sad that I got here. I wish I wasn't here, but I don't regret it because I attempted it, because I took the decision to at least give it a go. But now I know, like, I can't do it because I don't have any talent, whatever. I have an answer to my ever ending question, while she just kept thinking, oh, I could be an engineer. It's such a shame that I didn't become an engineer. I probably could have put things together. Like, lady, you don't even know how to crochet. Lady, crocheting is one of the simple way to engineer, because engineering is basically designing things, how putting things to put things together to work, right? You're basically creating things to work so that it can be used for other people, benefits. That's basically what it is. And I think like engineers have those rings that basically you shouldn't do evil or something, because that is the power of being an engineer, which is you are creating things that can be used either as good or evil in the world. Like you are a creator basically. And but I kept that to myself, of course. And I think like if I already think like this, that means like all the other people around her already thought about this a long time ago, because I usually arrived at a negative conclusion longer than most people. It usually take me about 3 4 years, or in a family context, usually 40 years. I realized something after 40 years, about 2 years ago. So I give a lot of people a lot of time and a lot of leniency before it reached that conclusion of negative opinion. So I know, like, if I'm thinking this, that's mean a lot of other people in the room already thought this 2 years ago. I'm just late to the game. I'm always late to the game when it comes to like negative opinions. So when I see her life, I don't want that version of that life. But but I want that life now, from now onwards. But the only reason is because I have lived my life of depravity and destitution and hardship now. So I feel like I have become me in a way that I'm not empty. Oh, the wind is really blowing really hard. So I'm not empty inside, I think. I'm not empty inside anymore. But if I would have been rich when I was like 20 or something, I think right now at 42, I would have been empty inside. I feel like the past 42 years, or at least the past 20 years, something, I'm just trying to build this inner infrastructure, which I think I have managed to do that, even though I failed at building the outer infrastructure, like the money, the relationship, the community. Like I have nothing or none of that, like at all. Um, but somehow I don't feel like my inside is empty. I don't feel my soul is empty. Um, Even when my body is hurting and my financial is basically non-existent, I don't feel that I am empty. And I feel like that's the cost of the past 20 years or something. It's just like I feel like I am a person of sort, like the mature version of me exists now. I'm not hollow, even though I do feel like from a spiritual existential place that I feel like I'm a husk of a person, meaning like I have nothing to give to the world again. That I am, very empty, but not in the substance uh, perspective. From the substance perspective, I feel like I have substance inside. That's my version of like not empty. It's like I feel I have substance. Like there is a substance existing. So the emptiness of feeling like I'm just a husk of a person is more like exhaustion. More like the tiresomeness of existing and being 40 and being middle age and having no ending in sight that is positive. So that's about that. But the the way I feel like when I see the other person, the other lady, is like I feel she doesn't have any substance at all inside. Like there is no opinions in her mind. She's only judging other people based on whatever criteria she has in her mind. Like it's just like there's just no substance. There's just nothing. Like it's like I was talking because like I was really stressed out about 2 months ago when I first got Limi, right? Like, and I didn't know like how the rescue world works, so it was my first time into the community. I don't know the slowness or the speed of how the speed of how things work or how long does it take. I don't know like the timing and stuff. Like I don't know nothing, so it really makes me stress out. Like because if I know nothing. I can't map out anything. I can't plan anything. I can't expect anything. It's very complicated and it stresses my neurodivergent nervous system out. So I started going again to a different like craft meetings, and the lady is there. Like I know the lady is there. So like the lady is part of so usually with craft meetings, there's always gonna be overlapping people from one to another. So there's usually one in here, and then there's one here, and then there's one here. So usually you have like overlapping members, not across. So it's not like all people are in the same meetings. No, but like there's usually an overlap between one or two, or one or three, or one or two. Like there's one that usually consistent amongst all three, but there's only maybe two that is consistent only about two or three or four, like that. Like so overlapping stuff, overlapping members. And she's one of the overlapping members in this particular meeting as well. And when I was like because I haven't been there for a while, so I was basically just vomiting my problem. It's like, oh, I picked up a stray, because like one of the kind lady basically say to me, oh my god, yeah, you do look awful, are you okay? Basically encourage me to share my issues. And back then it was basically just picking up the stress out that's dealing with the rescue. And I wasn't used to it. I wasn't accustomed to how to deal with it. I don't know what's going on. Our communication style was very different, so I was very stressed out. So I was basically just like sharing, oh, I picked up this cat, blah 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 blah. And then the lady basically on the next meeting, like a different meeting group, they basically say, oh yeah, I also saw after the meeting, after that meeting, the one that you told us about, you picking up stray, I saw like three strays, beautiful strays on the parking lot. Yeah, 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 they were so beautiful and really striking. They look really healthy, so they should be okay. And I was so confused. Like, why is she telling me this? Why is she telling me? Is she telling me that I should go and, you know, rescue the strays? And I was like, oh, I was just like, okay, oh, that's good to know. Yeah, there's so many strays on the. I just basically just replied like that, very passively. Um, she's one of those people, one of the ladies that speaks very fluent neurotypicals, which means like her communication and my communication style don't see eye to eye. her method is always like indirect, and also a dry begging type of thing. So she would never ask you like, would you like to go out for coffee with me? She would say something like, oh, there is a I don't know, like, I don't know, she would mention something. I can't even imagine how she would ask, because it's not in my wiring. But anyway, yeah, she basically told me that, like, oh, yeah, I saw like three beautiful cats, like, after that meeting. And I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with me? But she goes, oh, so they'll look okay, they'll look like looked after. And I think like she wants me to know that she's also a nice person, because she spot rescues. She spots like stray cats, but like it's as if that she wanted to have the recognition of a helpful and a rescuer, like a good person. But seeing them and rescuing them are two different things. So that's what I meant when I say she's very empty. Like there is no substance in her, and I know that's a very bad thing to say about another person, and I know I'm gossiping. But that's how I feel. Like I feel like I don't want to be her, but I do want her lifestyle now. From now onwards, I do, because I feel like if I do get the lifestyle what she has, like maybe 20 years ago when I first started out this journey of really wanting, or like maybe not 20 years ago, maybe like 30 years ago when I wanted to be a successful person, and then I got it like what how she would, but she didn't really get it through her accomplishment and also through work, but right, she got it from basically managing her luck to get a husband that is compliant and followed her order. Basically she got a good butler or slave, you know in a good way. It's like how Limi got me as her slave. But I wouldn't mind having that life now as a 42-year-old, because I'm no longer afraid to fall that uh into becoming empty like her. Because I know I won't, because I think I have 42 years of hardship enough to give me good substance and grounding, so that I don't get lost in who I am, in my accomplishment, and I'm not gonna use other people's accomplishment and failures as if they're my own, right? Because she kept like talking as if that her daughter's accomplishment and failures are hers. They're not. The daughter is not hers. So there is that. I guess there is that give and take in her life, which is she gets a comfortable life. She gets to travel quite a lot. She gets a lot of freedom of socializing. But I don't know. I don't feel like that life is satisfying for even for her. But if I do get that life now, where I do get my source of money from my husband, or from what from my spouse, and my spouse, if I'm lucky, being very obedient and generous, I don't think I would become like her. Even if I do follow her lifestyle, I don't think I would become her, because I think 42 years of being on my own and figuring things out on my own make me a very different person with money. I think I would just do what I do now, but I think it's more maybe relax, and I would just sleep with a different mindset. That's it. I don't even know if I'm gonna travel, because I don't think I'm a travel person. I don't mind like if I tag along another person, but I don't particularly have inspiration to travel, I think, because it's very tiresome, and also my body is not, my energy is just very low. I think I just need money so that I don't stress. That's all. And I think at the same time, I would love to have money now because I think if I had money about maybe 20, 30 years ago, I would definitely have a lot of guilt and I don't know, a lot of. I would be bullied to get to take care of other people so that my money doesn't become my money anymore because like they would make sure I feel guilty. But now it's very different because I think the suffering that I have suffered has solidified the fact that no, no, to basically have a different pair of eyes and seeing people and how to treat people. Like I'm still a doormat somehow, but maybe a tougher one. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for listening for like an hour of I don't know, just bunch of nothings that I'm talking about. Thank you. The sun is setting soon, so this is a good time to do it. Happy spring for next week, I think. No, not next week. The week after that, but I probably be back next week as usual. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. This channel doesn't have a schedule. It just happens that I do this on Sunday. Anyway, if you like my content, please consider supporting. Go to mycoffee.com/Valerie or GoFundMe. The links are in the description below. Help me pay my bills because I am broke and poor. And hopefully I can keep creating content. I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. And also click subscribe, like, share, and notification button for next video. Bye everyone.